right, so we talked about how to collect like terms. What happens if we see parentheses in these expressions? Okay, sometimes that can affect how we collect like terms. Because if you see parentheses and there's an operation sign in front, like plus or minus, you have to apply that to all the terms in parentheses. So before I explain, let's just look at a couple of examples. We cannot collect like terms yet until we get rid of the parentheses. What sign is in front of here we just don't write? Yeah, plus. So to remove the parentheses, here's what you do. So I'm just going to rewrite this. The addition sign has to apply to everything, every term inside the parentheses. So I need to add 2x and add plus 3y, which is the same thing, isn't it? Like plus 2x is just 2x. Add plus 3y is just the same as that. When we've got two pluses, it's a plus. But I can take the parentheses out because I applied the plus to everything inside. I got to do the same thing to this one. So I get plus 5x, which is just plus 5x. And then I get plus negative 6y. Well, plus and minus make what? Negative. So it looks like that. So notice that when we took out the parentheses, it actually looks the exact same as when the parentheses were in there. No signs changed. So that's the nice thing about addition, is you can just take the parentheses out and no signs change. And now we can collect like terms. What would this look like when I combine like terms? Oh.
7x minus 3y.
Good. Okay. This next one, well, there's nothing in front, so we assume it's a plus. And then we have to apply this positive, this plus, to every term in the parentheses. But we saw before, it wasn't going to change any signs, was it? Plus 2a squared is just plus 2a squared. I'm going to write plus. Plus a is just plus a. Plus a negative makes a negative. Plus a negative again makes a negative again. And plus a positive makes a positive. So I can just take out the parentheses and nothing changes. There's another plus in front of the second set of parentheses. So again, I got to apply the plus to everything. It's not going to change any signs. Plus negative is negative. 4b squared. Plus plus stays as plus. Plus plus again stays as plus. Plus negative stays negative. And plus positive stays positive. So notice it's just the same thing, just take out the parentheses. Now we got quite a bit of combining to do here, collecting. So maybe let's just do it in order as we see it. What do we get when we collect the a squareds? 7a squared, so I'm going to cross them out. How about the A's? Remember, A means the same as 1A. I've got a 1A and I've got a negative 5A. Negative 4A. The B's, 3B, which means it's plus 3B. The AB's, negative 4AB, good. And the B squares. Negative 1B squared, or you can just write negative B squared. Either one is fine. Good. So what we saw from that is when we add a whole bunch of terms that are in parentheses, no signs change. So we can talk, so if we want to sort of come up with some kind of rule, okay, when we add a polynomial that is in parentheses, we must add every term in the parentheses. Which won't change any signs. When we take the parentheses out. Okay. Subtraction is a different story. You can't just take out the parentheses and nothing changes. And we'll see that in a second. Anybody still need this? Okay. Okay. So subtraction. Again, before we come up with a rule, let's look at what happens here. Okay, so this next example. Well, there's nothing in front of the first set of parentheses, so we assume it's positive, which means we can just take out the parentheses and nothing changes. Looks exactly the same without the parentheses. However, you got to be careful when there's a subtraction. Remember, we have to subtract every term inside. When you do that, you'll get minus 4A. And what does the last one become? Positive 2B. Because when we subtract a negative, it becomes a positive. So notice the signs change when it's subtraction. So we got to be really careful about that. And again, I see some students, they try and do a question like this in one step. You can't. Do it in 2 steps. Take out your parentheses first, write what it looks like without the parentheses, then collect like terms. What would the final simplified answer be? 2A plus 5B when we collect like terms, yes. Good. B. Well, again, no parentheses, no sign in front of the first set of parentheses, so just take them out, nothing changes. However, because there's a subtraction in front of the second set of parentheses, all the signs are going to change. So what will it become when I take out the parentheses? What will it look like?
Negative p squared
Negative p squared
positive 3p
plus 3p, yes, minus 2. Good. And now we can collect like terms. Remember, if there's no number in front, it's always assumed to be 1. Just keep that in mind. So when I collect the p squareds,
p squared
p squared
plus 4p
plus 4p minus 3, excellent. Yeah, 2p squared minus 1p squared is 1p squared or just p squared? And 1p and 3p is 4p. Minus 1 minus 2 is negative 3, minus 3. Okay? Okay.
Are we gonna
Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay. So when we subtract, we must subtract every term in the parentheses which will change the signs of all the terms. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, here we've got parentheses and we've got brackets. So brackets is just another type of grouping symbol. So what we have to do when we see parentheses and brackets, take out the parentheses first, then take out the brackets, then collect like terms. So 3 steps. So my first step, the only thing I'm taking out, everything else is going to be exactly the same. The only thing I'm taking out is the parentheses. And when I take it out, I've got a minus a and a minus plus b, which changes to minus. Like so. So the parentheses are gone. Now we take the brackets. Well, what sign is in front of the brackets? Plus or minus? Plus. So I can just take them out and nothing changes. 3a plus 2 minus a minus b. No signs change.
So you just use the symbol that's in front, so like
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, if it's negative, it's going to change the signs. If it's positive, it's not going to change anything. And now, collect like terms. Remember, minus a is the same as minus 1a. And minus b is the same as minus 1b. What do I get?
2a minus plus 2.
2a minus b plus 2. Or if some of you wrote it 2a plus 2 minus b, that's fine too. Both are correct. If you left the 1 in front of the b, that's okay. All right, let's see if you can do it. I want you to try the second one on your own. See if you can figure it out. It's very similar to the one we just did. So first step, we're only taking out the parentheses. And when we do, minus minus becomes plus 4y, minus plus 8 becomes minus 8. Second step, taking out the brackets. Because there's a plus in front, nothing changes. Plus 2y, plus 4y, minus 8. Electron terms. And we get this. Good. The last one. Only thing I'm going to do is take out the parentheses. Now remember, this is very important when you see this. This negative is in front of the bracket. It's not in front of the parenthesis. There's actually a plus inside of the parenthesis, or in front of the parenthesis. It's just not there. So that means that when we take out the first set, nothing changes because there's a plus in front. When we take out the second set, nothing changes again. So it's going to look like that when we take out the two sets of parentheses. When we take out the brackets, now things are going to change because we have to, there's a minus in front. So we get minus 3x plus 5 minus 4 plus 3x squared. And finally, collecting like terms, I've got a negative 2x squared plus the 3x squared, so that's 1x squared, or you can just write x squared. I've got a minus 3x that goes with nothing else, so it's just minus 3x. And I've got a plus 5 and a minus 4, which together make plus 1. So you should get x squared minus 3x plus 1. Okay, I think that was the last one, wasn't it? Last one in the back. Oh, yeah, yeah. I do want to do that one on the back, but I am going to reduce the number of questions you do in the exercise.
Yeah.
Okay, this one. So here's a substitution question. Imagine if you plugged in 5 and then started calculating according to order of operations. That is a ton of work. Let's make this easier. So let's, first of all, take out the parentheses. What does it look like when I remove the parentheses? Anybody? And then, right. Good. There's a negative in front of those parentheses that change the signs. There's a negative in front of the brackets, it's going to change the sign again. So I get minus 3y squared, then what?
Minus 8y.
Careful.
Wait, no, positive.
Positive 8y. Minus 1. Minus 3y. Good. Finally, collect the y squares. We get 3y squared. What do you notice when you collect the y's? They all cancel out to nothing. Negative 5y plus 8y is 3y. 3y minus 3y. They're all gone. So that means we're only left with a minus 1. That's a lot easier to deal with than the first one. That's why we simplify these things. So now let's plug 5 in and figure out what the answer is. Go ahead, Phil. Yep. Get on. So you see, these things can look a little complex, but if you just follow the procedure, you'll be fine. Just watch out for positive and negative signs. You guys know how easy sometimes it is to make a little mistake. Okay? So you got to watch, especially when you're taking out parentheses or brackets with subtraction in front. Okay? Okay.